Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week at everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, with news holiday season trading is starting and investors are on tenterhooks. First up, we should note that Wall Street is closed today for their Thanksgiving weekend holiday. However, all eyes will be on retailer results, especially for Black Friday. Among those with the most to gain or lose are Amazon and the parcel delivery firms like UPS and FedEx. The S&P 500 ended their short week down 3.2%, with investors selling out of retail stocks ahead of the holiday season. China and Russia are moving to build a currency exchange and payment system that does not use the US dollar as its base. This will be interesting to watch as two manipulated currencies trade with the influences directed by officials in Beijing and Moscow. Likely somewhere in a dark corner, an independent reference to the greenback will lurk, especially if one side feels they're getting shafted. The release of the latest ECB minutes shows they are determined to dial back monetary stimulus, even as some board members saw growing risk to the EU economy. In fact, these minutes show that a new round of cheap multi-year loans for banks is off their agenda. Overnight, a sizable retreat in EU consumer confidence was reported, building on a trend that has been running all year. Most of the good gains in consumer sentiment built up in 2017 have now been unwound, and the brief period where optimists exceeded pessimists in Europe is now a distant memory. Overnight, the Central Bank of South Africa has raised its policy rate by 25 basis points to 6.75%. They say it's on its way to 7.5% by the end of 2020. More details of the Brexit plan were revealed overnight. The deal will keep the UK in equivalence with the EU laws, but allow the UK to do some limited trade deals on its own. It will also limit free movement of people, but embed deep regulatory and customs cooperation. Basically, the UK will need to move in future in line with EU laws. The governments might be near a deal, but it is unclear whether this upgraded deal can pass the British Parliament. British currency rose on the news. The US Treasury 10-year yield is unchanged at 3.07%, and their 210 curve is just under 25 basis points. The Aussie government 10-year is at 2.67%, the Chinese government 10-year is at 3.40%, while the New Zealand government 10-year is at 2.71%. Gold is up $1 today at $1,227 an ounce. And US oil prices are as much as $1 lower today. That puts them at only $54 a barrel. The Brent benchmark is also down, now at $62.50 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar is starting today little changed at 68.2 US cents. On the cross rates, we're a tad lower at 93.9 Aussie cents and at 59.8 euro cents. That puts the TWI at 72.5. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.